Hello, everybody. I'm Jordan Murphy. Welcome to the ROI interview. I am joined today with Alice Heiman. She is coming to me live from Reno, Nevada. Alice, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Jordan. It's good to be here with you.
Thank you. So, Alice Heiman, AliceHeiman.com, known best for her skills as a sales strategist. But I really want, Alice, for you to tell us and our viewers a little bit about Alice Heiman and AliceHeiman.com.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to tell our viewers about that. I have the most wonderful job in the world because I get to help companies increase sales every day. So my clients are really happy when they see me coming because they know that I'm going to be helping them go out and generate more leads, make better sales calls, close more deals, retain those customers, and get a lot of referrals.
So, Alice, how long have you been doing this, and what was it? I mean, I don't know, was there a career counselor in school that said, how about, Alice, you become a sales strategist? What was your aha moment?
And my father, who some of you may have heard of, Steve Heiman of Miller Heiman Incorporated, world-renowned sales training company, he had been asking me to work for him for years. And so finally I decided to make the switch and go ahead and work for Miller Heiman Incorporated. And I got to work with some of the world's largest companies, some of the most prestigious, some of the Fortune 500 companies like Dow Chemical, Merck, Coca-Cola, Hewlett-Packard, and Fidelity Investments, lots of wonderful companies. I got catapulted into the business world and into the world of sales. So out of that, after doing that for about 3 years, my entrepreneurial spirit kicked in again. I had learned a lot from my dad and stepmom who were running Miller Heiman at the time. And I started my own company, which is Alice Heiman LLC. And I did that in 1997.
Wow. Well, you have obviously quite a solid pedigree. And you know what? People sometimes poo-poo nepotism. I think it's fantastic. If you got it, use it. I mean, because what most of us do as far as creating and generating leads, it's about connections. And, it sounds to me like you're a connector, and one of my favorite authors, Malcolm Gladwell, in Tipping Point, discusses the notion of a connector and whether or not you know them and that you have them and have you identified them. And I'm glad to say that I think ROI Catalyst has met a connector in Alice Heiman.
Absolutely. And of course, if you go to my website, that's my tag, Alice Heiman, the Sales Connector. And I learned a lot about connecting in the years that I was teaching, but I also learned a lot when I was with Miller Heiman. And what I can tell you, it's important for me, but it's important for all small business owners to always make good connections and to constantly be building their business network. I firmly believe that the most important asset any business person has in today's world is their network. And most people don't make enough of that network and they don't really understand how to utilize it. But anytime in your business life that you need to increase your sales, hire someone, find resources, get capital to do something with your business, you need that network. And I believe that it is one of the reasons that businesses do fail because they don't have the connections that they need. You will not succeed in sales unless you have those connections, and you will not succeed as a business owner. And so as part of what I do as a sales strategist, I teach people how to very strategically build a network and maintain it so that they can get the resources, the people, the sales that they do need.
I'm sure it's quite a process to take a company who is in need of a strategy from A to Z, but are there a couple of maybe basic tent posts that you could share with us in this interview?
Well, the first thing that happens when companies come to me and say, I want to increase my sales, of course, I want to know what are your sales now today and how did you get those sales? Okay. And just sitting down and analyzing that can almost immediately get your sales to increase because you notice some things. That's right. So it doesn't matter if you've been in business for 10 or 20 years or 1 year or just starting. You take a look at who is your target audience, how will you reach them? How are you reaching them now? If you're not a startup, you've been reaching them. And has that been successful?
There you go.
Are these the right customers? Are they paying you the amount that you want to be paid for your products and services? So who do you have now? And I like to go through that list and quite frankly ask my clients, who would you fire? Of this client list, is everybody on there really your best customer, someone that you want to keep? And are they helping you grow your business? Right. So it's an amazing thing that happens when my business owners do this and they're like, wow, this exercise was an eye-opener for me. So once you really see out of the customers you have, which ones you really want to keep and get more of, then the next step is to go out and find more of those ideal customers. And you've got to, of course, think about, how do you generate leads? How will you find this audience? Do you need to go out in person and be with them through networking events, through trade shows, through conferences? Or can you reach them through social media, email marketing, even still using the telephone, some cold calling? And all of those things together will help you go out and reach that audience and start to bring them into you. And of course, then the next thing you have to ask yourself is, if I generate all these leads and have all these leads, how will I close business?
That's right.
Does my business get closed on the internet by having someone click? Or do I need a salesperson who's going to call people and follow up, or go meet with them face to face and follow up and close that business? Yep. So you have to have all those pieces: the target audience, the way to reach the target audience, and then once you've reached them and you've got those leads, you've got to have the mechanism for closing that business. And so those are the three important things to get the business. Then you've got to keep the business. And I think that most companies don't focus enough on keeping the business that they already have. It's really a lot more expensive and a lot harder to continue to go out and get new customers than it is to retain the ones you have and to sell more to them and to continue to service them in a way that makes them want to give you referrals and really makes them a walking advertisement for you. Right. So retention is important, and you need a strategy for that. And once you have retained your customers and they're satisfied, there's so many opportunities for growth. It can be a huge part of your business. You'll still always need to go out and get new customers, but keeping the customers you have and being able to sell more to them and being able to get referrals from them is what will help make a healthy balance in your revenue.
Excellent. Well, I'm not surprised, Alice, that you're a wealth of knowledge and that your skills are probably high in demand. I appreciate you taking your time, and I just, in closing, because we are ROI catalysts and because we do provide information and services to entrepreneurs, what would, first of all, be your definition of ROI? I mean, other than the standard definition, and what is your definition of an entrepreneur?
Right. Well, for me, return on investment is really, for an entrepreneur, it's about getting back to why they're in business. So it doesn't really matter if I'm making money, if I'm generating a lot of revenue, if I'm making profit. Of course, that's very important for any business. But if it doesn't go back to the heart of that entrepreneur and touch them in some way, if they can't remember why they got into business, then there is no ROI. It doesn't make any difference how much money you make. So I really want all of my entrepreneurs, all of my business owners, to think about why they do what they do and why they continue doing that. And that will inspire their entire company, and it will inspire all of their clients as well. And so I think that, for me, is the true ROI. It's the why we do what we do every day, and the joy in that, and being able to bring that to people. And to me, an entrepreneur is anyone who really wants to get out there and change the world by making something happen and doing something different. So we have entrepreneurs in every walk of our lives. They may be in a for-profit business or a nonprofit business, or they may be even volunteering and helping in some other way. It's that entrepreneurial spirit of, I have something I can give that will change the world.
Well, I mean, Alice, I don't know if I could have said it better. I'm a big fan of always bringing it back to the why, because I think it's very easy in this day and age to get caught up in this kind of damage control survival mechanism as human beings. But if you could just plug back into why you're doing it and connect with that, success is going to follow. So thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, and thank you all for watching the ROI interview today with Alice Heiman, aliceheiman.com. Visit that website, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much, Jordan. It's been a pleasure.